Hey everybody, I'm Jason and welcome back to From Tree to Lumber, a YouTube channel about a guy and his adventures with a sawmill. I built this shed out behind the house a couple of years ago. It's just clad with plywood and I never got around to trimming it out. So what I need to do today is just make some battens, and I want to finish up these corners and also around the doors. You know, they just need a little bit of trimming, make it look a little bit better, keep the water out and everything. So that's the project for today. The plan here is just to put, I think, a 3 1/4 inch face piece out here, and then it'll be 3/4 of an inch thick. So 3 1/4 less 3/4 is 2 1/2 inch. So a 2 1/2 inch piece will go over here. So it'll be a nice square corner. So what I want to do is I've got a couple of really nice pieces of white oak that are only about maybe 8 inches around, and they're not really much good for making lumber, but they can make some small trim, you know, 2 1/2, 3 inches wide. And that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna take these pieces of wood and I'm gonna rip them down into usable pieces of trim, basically, put them on the shed and get ready for winter. The pieces I need for the shed really only need to be 8 feet long. There's an 8-foot wall and a 12-foot wall. So honestly, this log at 9 feet, you know, I can afford to lose a little bit. I've had some feedback that people really like it when I cut a cookie off the end and show them my cutting strategy. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, okay? Okay, I figured it all out, and I need 6 of the wider 3 1/4 inch pieces, and I need 5 of the narrower 2 1/2 inch pieces. So this is the bigger log. I'm gonna try to get all of my bigger pieces out of it. So after measuring it and doing a little bit of kind of thinking about it, I ended up realizing I can get about a 5x5 usable cant from it. All right, and what the plan is to try to get 1, 2, 3, 4 3 1/2s from around the edge, and then hopefully if I do it just right, I can get an additional 2 3 1/4 inch pieces from inside there. I don't want to get too close to the pith, right? So if things kind of go sideways and I can't get all of this out of here, or maybe I have to go in just a little bit deeper, there is a little bit of room here for movement. And if for some reason I can't get wide pieces out of here, you know, the 3 1/4s, then maybe I can just cut them down and get the 2 1/2s, right? So that's the cutting plan right there. It may go this way or it may not, you know, but I think it'll be pretty close to that. And now my goal is to get 6 nice 3 1/4 inch pieces from it. Okay, so there's like a 2-inch difference between the big end of the log and the small end of the log. See how handy these test cookies are? They're very handy. I'd recommend them, especially when you're starting out or even when you're not. It's just handy so you can visualize things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide this 1-inch cut off underneath this log, kind of like that. And what that's gonna do is it'll raise the log so that the pith is at roughly the same height from the bed, and I should be able to make the most out of cutting the log, basically. Okay, so there it is. All right, let's see how my one-pole wonder life van does here. If you're thinking about buying this sawmill and are afraid of this engine, don't be. It's been awesome. Ever since I've had it, it's been 1-2 pulls at the most. This thing hasn't run in probably a month or so, and I'll bet you it fires right up. So turn the choke on. Okay, get her figured out, make sure everything's good, and 1. I don't have a lot of extra room to play with on this log, so you'll often see me make these very, very light cuts just off the top. It's really just to make sure that the sawmill blade and the log are sitting in the same plane, because I really can't afford to make a mistake and go too deep on one end or the other. All right, so it looks like maybe I've raised this end up just a little bit too much, because It's cutting quite a bit thicker on the small end than it is down towards the wide end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that 1-inch board with I've got a sheet of 5/8 plywood, and that should bring it down a little bit, and then I'll even up that top, and then I'll start my cuts. Yeah, that's a lot better. I'm not going to be able to get those extra 2 pieces like I was hoping out of this, but that's okay. It was just a bonus if it could happen. But I am still going to get my 6 pieces, definitely 4 wides and hopefully 6 wides, if not 4 wides and 2 narrows. Only takes a second to make sure everything's set up square, and it is. So I should be able to take off at least 4 nice thick pieces from this, which will give me my 6 wide ones, which is what I was hoping for in the beginning. There's my 6 potentially wide pieces. They are really nice. There's 2 that are still live edge. And by the way, I'm putting these things up wet, probably later today, if not tomorrow morning. So I'm not too worried about them cupping and whatnot. I'll nail them in, and they're not going to go anywhere. Plus, it's a rough shed, so I don't really care. Okay, it leaves me with this nice cutoff. Let's just take a quick measurement. It is 3 inches by 1.5 inches, which is kind of neat. You can see I actually didn't follow my plan there. These things happen. This piece will come in handy. I still have a door I have to frame. Maybe I could cut it down a little bit, or I could use it as the header. Whatever, it'll come in handy. I'll set it aside, and you know, that's maybe just a little bit better than firewood, but maybe not. We'll see. And here's the next log. I think it might actually be the piece that came off just above that last one. It's just a little bit smaller, but you know, it's not that bad. They only need to be 2.5 inches wide, and I only need 5 of them. Shouldn't have any trouble getting that out of this. I'm not going to go to the trouble of cutting the cookie for you because it's the exact same cutting procedure, and I'm just going to put this in time lapse, and you can watch me do it. There's no sound in an iPhone time-lapse clip, so you're going to have to listen to me talk. But I've got something worthwhile. There's going to be some big changes coming to this channel. There's going to be a new building coming up to protect my equipment. There's going to be some new equipment. And I'm going to start doing more projects, little things. I want to build some sawhorses and all that kind of thing. So I would really appreciate it if you could support me and just subscribe to the channel. That's all you got to do. Hit the subscribe button, and let's get me monetized and get this thing moving, okay? Appreciate it very much. Keep watching. Okay, there's my 6 narrow ones. 2 of them are still rough. I'll just cut them down in a minute. So I actually got an extra piece, which is kind of nice. And I got everything I needed out of those 2 logs. right, so here's the finished product. Covers that corner really nicely. I just put them on with the air gun. And once I oil that up, it'll be the same tone as the rest of the garage and it'll look awesome. So there you go. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it very much. If you enjoy this stuff, please subscribe. It would help me very much. And remember, there is some cool stuff coming.